today I'm going to show you how to illustrate a butterfly off shoulder drape gown. And before I start, I'm going to use 2 yards of fabric, silk fabric, to illustrate this. And aside from that, we're going to use a crepe that has stretch for the shoulder. You can use your polo or lycra material for to add to the off shoulder, like what you've seen there on the thumbnail. This is 2 yards of my fabric, and these are the measurements we're going to use. The measurements: full length, half length, the shape, the hips line, the round shoulder of my client's shoulder, bust, and then the bust line. We're going to set to work. First of all, the 2 yards of fabric. The 2 yards is 36 by 60 inches. You can see, very colorful. Then it's folded first into 2. Thereafter, you now fold it into 4. Please watch again, look at it again. What I'm going to do, you fold it into 2 equal parts. This is the fabric. Fold it first into 2 equal parts. You fold it into 2 equal parts, then you fold it again into 4. Here's the 4 part you folded into. Then you place it 4 and start taking your measurements. Like I said, don't forget butterfly off shoulder drape gown. Make sure it is equal. The silk moves a lot, but please make sure it is equal so that you don't have error. You can see my material is my fabric is well folded, and we still have some lapses here. Then we're going to trim it out so it can be equal, so we won't have error when we're done with it with our measurements. We're going to trim it out. Still going to trim the other side when I'm done. And after trimming, you're going to start by measuring. If you can see, my client's full length here is 43, and if you check this material on measurement, if you should place your tape here, you have only less than 43 here. That's 34.5. Now, since it's off shoulder and we're going to add something like this, the crepe I was talking about, you can just take half yard, then cut out what you want. Like mine, I cut out 6 inches. When folded, it becomes 3. You can see, and according to her round shoulder, I added to 1 inches. The fabric is stretchy, you can see, so that you can lap her shoulder well. Now I'm going to off it so that I can have exact 43 I want. This 42, I won't take other than that. It's still going to be long. Off it. Now I'll take all the measurements I wish to. I'll first of all mark her round shoulder. Here is 42. If you should divide it by 4, you will have 10 and a half. 10 and a half divided by 2, you have 5/4. So I'm going to mark 5/4 up here. I can decide to use, let me just use 5, forget about the quarter. It's 5. Then I'll mark down here 3 inches. Five up there, then here 3. This is how it should be. That's for the neckline. Then I'll mark 4 inches. Sorry, I'll mark the shoulder. Her shoulder here is 15. This is the 15, 7.5. Then on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark 4 inches. 4 inches. That's where I'm stopping. That's where we open up and stop. 4 inches. is from here. This is where my line is opening. I'll open here up, and this neckline. Don't forget 5 and 3. Now place my tape here. I'll off it by 5, then mark 8 inches. But in this case, since our armhole is 8, I won't 8.5. Sorry, I won't mark the 8.5. I'll bring it down to 10. This is where I'm going to start marking her bust and the rest. Place my tape here, divide it by 4. Divide her bust by 4. Her bust here is 35. Divided by 4, we'll have 9/4. Then we add 1 inch for sewing allowance. And we still place our tape out. Don't forget we off it by 5. We took 10. We're going to mark our half length. Our half length here is 16. I'm going to short it by 1 inch. Now take 15. And on the 15 line, I'm going to mark a shape. A shape here is 31. 31 divided by 4 is 7.5/4. I'll still add 1 inch for sewing, for shaping allowance. You know, butterfly is not always that shaping, except you want it to really shape you, since there is no zipper behind. So I still off by the 4 and take her hips line. Her hips line here, as I measured her, is 24. Now on the 24th line, I'm going to measure her hips there on the hips line. From shoulder to her hips bone is where we have the hips line. Her hips is 39 now. 39 divided by 4 is going to be 9.5/4. Then we still have the 1 inch allowance. We then connect the lines from this to this. Then we now take from here to where we have the hips, then we take it down. That's it. This is how we are going to shape the cloth. There's nothing you're going to cut out here other than just the neck, as only the neck. After the neck, you're going to cut open from here, from the neckline. You measure for, sorry, I didn't say that, it's only the shoulder that I measured. From the neckline, you still measure 4. Measure 4. You can decide to use 4.5, depending on the client. Forget about the first 4 we measured. That was after this, after the shoulder, we took 4. Forget about the first 4. But from the neckline, since we took 5 and 3, you can decide to measure 4. From the neckline here, you measure 4, and this is the 4 we have here. Then from the 4, you can open it up till the end. Then you trim, make sure you trim and they're all equal. That's all you have. All you have to do is to turn it to the front, then shape it out. You use your band to band the neck here. Then here you run an industrial weaving all through. I'm going to open up the gown now for you to see. Like I said, use your crepe or your lycra or your polo material that is stretchy to round the band for the shoulder. Then here you use industrial weaving. This is how the gown looks like. This is how it will look like when you're done with the cutting. You can see the tail effect dropping at both sides, from both sides. Maybe you can call it tail, you can call it draping effect dropping on both sides.